And that's the final product, guys, of the harvesting step procedure one. Then you move. So an indication of the time to harvest the olives for pickling is when you see the fruit or the olives have begun to turn. They're transitioning from green to black. You can see these particular olives have started to turn purple. This is your indication to pick them. This is the perfect time to pick them for pickling. Okay, and this is how we harvest the olives. You place something below to catch it. In this case, I'm using my trusty wheelbarrow. And you just run your hands through the branches. MashaAllah, as you can see, tabarakallah, it's loaded. And it's actually very satisfying to do. And you just remove all the fruits off the branches. And that's the final product, guys, of the harvesting step procedure. So all this came off of one tree. MashaAllah, it was very, very productive this year. So now we're just gonna weigh it and soak it in water and as is, and leave it overnight just to clean it up properly and help it expand just a little bit. Then we'll continue the pickling procedure after that. And as soon as I finished harvesting the olive tree, I gave it a haircut, a prune. It was getting way too high for us to reach it. So I gave it a heavy prune, which you're supposed to do. You're supposed to prune olive trees straight after harvest to give them time. There's still some time in the growing season for them to put on some growth and get ready for next year, for another productive year, inshallah. So basically I've pruned it in an opened way. I've cleared all the center. I've removed all the branches that are going inwards towards the center of the tree. I opened it up heavily to allow maximum light penetration and maximum air circulation, which these things love. They absolutely love air circulation and maximum light penetration. They love the sun. So what I've done is I've pruned it down heavily, but I've left, you can see I've left a lot of, a few branches. They're going to act as a nursing branches, basically to nurse the tree back into health until it puts on some decent growth. Otherwise, there's a chance it might go into shock because of such a heavy prune, and you might lose a tree or the whole tree or part of the tree. So it's recommended you leave a few nursing branches just to provide some energy from the sun and to keep it going until the tree decides to put out new growth and bring it back to health. And that's the Italian Frantoio variety. And this Kalamata I haven't touched yet because you're supposed to pickle them when they're black, otherwise they're too bitter. So it's still a bit early. They might need a few weeks yet to ripen and turn black, purplish black, darker color. Then they're ready to pick. And yeah, so I'm just gonna wash them, or weigh them, then wash them, and then I'll see you in the next step of the pickling process, inshallah. Okay, now after they've been soaking in water, just to clean them up and plump them up a little bit, it's time to smash them. Basically, this is the smashing process. That's the way it was traditionally done. Basically, the whole point of it is to open them up, just like so. Open them up. So when you put them in the brine, they'll absorb the brine and they'll remove the bitterness out of them. It speeds up the process, otherwise they'll stay too bitter. So it's just a basic prehistoric process. You literally just smash them with any heavy item just to split them open. And we believe doing it this way actually releases some of the oil compared to just, I know some people just slit it. You can't slit it with a knife. It's a neat cut, but in doing it this way, it actually, by smashing it, you're releasing some of the oils and it adds to the overall flavor. I'll prefer it this way, but either way is fine. This is just the way we do it. So we're just gonna smash them, and then after you smash them, you put them back in water. That's the batch that we already done. That's already smashed. Put them back in water just to keep them fresh, so that they don't dry out, and to maintain their color. And this is the batch that hasn't been smashed. And there's plenty to go. Basically, we weighed it, and there was 16 kilos, mashallah, from one tree. 16 kilos from one tree, which is roughly close to 35 pounds from one tree. So it's relatively productive. That's plenty for us from one tree. So now I've got to pitch in and help the wife to keep smashing them, and we'll see you in the next process. And this is all the 16 kilos, 35 pounds of olives smashed up and soaking in water for 24 hours. And you change the water within those 24 hours, maybe once or twice. And then after that, it's ready for pickling, for the brine. So after 24 hours of soaking in water, then you remove them out of the pot that was soaking in, and you wash them. You wash them thoroughly to remove any imperfection and bitterness that's been sort of absorbed in the water. So now it's time to prepare the brine, the pickling juice for the olives. So you add some rock salt to the water. The measurements are in the description box below. So she's using the egg technique to know exactly how much salt to put in the water. So the idea is you drop an egg in the water and you keep adding salt, and as soon as the egg starts floating, because of the salt, it makes it buoyant, then you stop this is basically your indication to stop adding salt. Okay, now it's action time. It's time to start pickling the olives. So the olives have been drained out of the liquid, out of the water, and the jars are pre-sterilized, ready to go. You add a bit of extra virgin olive oil to the olives to begin with, just to lubricate them. And basically these are the aromatics and flavorings to be added to the jars. We have lemon, chili, thyme, olive oil, and fresh lemon leaves from my tree. This basically does a couple of things. One is it flavors the actual olives or the pickling juice. It gives it a zesty, lemony flavor. And two, you place it on the surface of the jar, and it basically acts as a sealer to prevent any pickles for any olives from rising above the surface, and it keeps them under the brine, and it pickles them. So that's the purpose of the lemon leaves. Okay, so she places a bit of olives in the jar, and then she chases it with some lemons. So basically it's going to be different jars will have different flavors. Some will have chili, lemon and thyme. Some will be just plain. So you just mix and match as you like. If you like it hot, you add more chilies, more heat. You like it more of a lemony taste, you add more lemons or thyme. So it's up to you how you like it. Or you can just mix it evenly. So then you add a twig of thyme and a chili in there as well. So when you have filled up your jar, you can see there it's full of olives, lemons, chili, thyme. You start topping it up with the brine, the pickling juice, which we prepared earlier, right to the surface, to the top. Then at this stage, you add the olive oil, just to seal it, because oil is lighter than water, so it tends to float to the surface and acts as a sealer to prevent any air from entering or any olives from popping up. Then you place the leaves of lemon, the lemon leaves, right on the surface. That's a very important step, again, because it gives it extra flavor, a zesty flavor, and it keeps the olives submerged in the brine. And that's the jar number one. Then you move on jar number two. Again, you place a bit of olives, then you start dropping in your aromatics and your flavors. We'll leave that up to you, just the way you prefer it. And this recipe will keep for a very long time, for years in some cases, if you prepare it correctly. And if you have liked what you've seen so far, please don't forget to subscribe, share and like for more delicious recipes.
So this is the final product, guys. Mashallah, it made a whole ton of pickles. We didn't expect that from one tree, but mashallah, it was very, very productive. So it made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 large jars, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 medium jars, I would say. Yeah, so basically, or actually, yeah, this is large, as my wife just stated. This is actually large, you know, and considered if you were to buy it. And these are extra large. So something like that would go for about, well, how much is that? We'll get $30 something, is it? Probably more, $40 per jar of these. And these ones, the smaller ones, which is actually large, is probably maybe $20, so if not more. And I don't think it's going to taste as good as these. So that's basically the procedure. It's pretty straightforward. Just your basic brine, some flavoring, aromatics, and get the procedure right, and you're on the way to success. And if you liked the video and you liked what you saw, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.